welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today I like to talk to you of another underrated film. It's actually a film my dad really loves, and it's called The Last Castle, starring Robert Redford. Rest in peace, James Gandolfini, Mark Ruffalo, Delore Lindau, and man, who's the other actor? It's a action thriller drama film about a colonel played by Robert Redford, or ex-colonel, who is sent to prison for a wrongful, I would say, well, I think it was a wrongful, a wrongful uh, order that he made, and he's sent to prison, and he meets a somewhat abusive colonel slash prison warden who pretty much abuses his prisoners, and he plans on taking a stand against that. And it's a very classic kind of movie, man. I'm telling you. I remember seeing the TV spots for this back in 2001 on VHS. And I remember my dad like watched the video like years later, and he saw it. He loved it. And I watched it with him. It's a pretty good film. This is more of a drama movie. It's so there's not really any action until the ending. Like it builds up to it to the ending until until it actually happens. So to the core of this film, this is a drama film, prison film of soldiers who are trying to rebel against this crazy, well, not crazy, just this jealous type prison warden. And to be honest, I'm not much of a fan of Robert Redford, but he seems like a very good and well-respected actor, and I'll give him that. So far, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but so far, for the ones I've seen, this one is probably my favorite out of everything that so far I've seen of it, and so far, to be honest, I've seen very little, for the exception of this. Um, I did see All Those Lost, which is another underrated film, and of course him in The Winter Soldier. But here, I thought he gave a very commanding but somewhat subdued performance as a colonel who's been through it all, seen it all, but somehow delivers some sort of humility and fairness and passion for his fellow comrades and the people around him who also soldiers who are in prison who reports to him that hey, under this prison warden, he's pretty abusive and he's gotten soldiers, prisoners murdered or killed under his leadership, and we need to do something about it, man. And for the longest of the film, Robert Redford tries to not get too involved in it because he just wants to do his time and looks forward trying to meet his granddaughter and just trying to do his time. He's just trying to get by to do his time until uh, one particular soldier kind of I think sparks his interest a little bit. Where out of all the other uh, soldiers that want to try to find a solution for uh, to avoid uh, abusive behavior from their current warden. Mark Ruffalo's character, he plays a pretty much a prisoner who's pretty much lost hope, just making bets on cigarettes and other stuff to kind of get around, that kind of a character who's just looking the best way to survive and to try to do his thing. So it's interesting to kind of see him and Robert Redford kind of connect and see how character can somehow convince when he gets convinced to join in on this possible plan of taking over the prison. There's another actor in here. Clifton Collins Jr. I think that's his name. He's a Mexican American actor. I've seen him quite a few stuff. He was in Pacific Rim. He's in. I think this is the first film I've seen him in. He was in this drama film of called uh 187. The guy's been around for a while. If you haven't seen it, I think he has a recognizable face to me. When I see him, that's the actor. He plays a soldier who has a little bit of brain damage, but who tries to uh, he, who looks up to Robert Redford's character, and he, I mean, his character gets picked on, but also Robert Redford and a few others uplift him and help him um, try to find strength in himself and courage to withstand any sort of abuse that goes on within prison. And there's a scene in here that leads up to his character's arc, and I won't say anymore. It's actually heartbreaking. That inspires Robert Redford's character to take on the task of possibly bringing down this new warden. And I mean, the action scenes when they happen at towards the end of the film, it's pretty exciting. It builds up. I think the movie like over 2 hours, 2 hours, and yeah, it builds up about like an hour and 47 minutes of drama time. And when it gets there, it's all out action. It just never stops. And they got quite a few moments here where they were just so good. The action scenes in here are just so good. It has to be one of the best movies to me. One of the best movies set in a prison or about the prison life. And there's this sequence with Mark Ruffalo, and they got some good lines in here. I mean, there's some dialogue scenes in here. You gotta just I won't. I just can't go into it because there's some good scenes in here that just really, man. This is what I miss about old school writing, like man, which is with these movies, man. Like they like like the drama is there. You really feel something. It doesn't feel forced. It builds up. And I like it that the film builds up to this moment, and it really kind of gets you in it. And when it happens, you're just in awe. And I love it when action films do that. This is not necessarily an action film, but you can call it an action film. But the action doesn't happen till like the end. It builds up to that moment to the prison break, and they don't break out. It's about bringing this dude's ideology out and pulling into a new one. And the idea, I think, was for Robert Redford's character to take over that prison as his prison sentence. Um, Great film. I highly recommend it for anybody looking for an old school, maybe political action drama uh, prison film. It's currently available on Max. And if you have seen it, spread the word because you got to check it out. The Last Castle. Have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.